thank you for joining and thank you for taking your time to do this. So let's start. Let's begin. Right. Just wanted to start with the market that we're in, and private hybrid cloud market has been growing rapidly, especially the public cloud side of it. And wanted to ask you, let's start with the questions, right? As the hybrid cloud infrastructure space becomes more and more complex, we have observed that enterprises are finding it difficult to move their workloads on cloud environments. We would like to know what are the best fit strategies that, this is your experience, that TCS is suggesting clients while adopting cloud first strategy.
Well, that's a very interesting question, Shashank, and you rightly said we are seeing a lot of those discussions with our customers in terms of what's the best cloud-first strategy that customers need to adopt. And our observation has been primarily in 2 to 3 areas, and that's where our strategies also have been evolving, right? One is in the fact that customers, when they decide to adopt the cloud-first strategy, they invariably look at infrastructure primarily. But our experience has been that you need to look at encompassing the application side, which is the business side of things, the infrastructure side of things, which is a given from an infrastructure as a service perspective, and at the same time also look at the people and process part of things. Right? And only when you have this all three parameters coming together, that's when we feel that the cloud first strategy or any movement where hybrid cloud ecosystem across private cloud and public cloud is successful, and that's where the return on investments or the business case stacks up for the customer as well. And that's one strong analysis that we have been able to put forward to our customers. We have been able to convince the customers and move towards the journey having these three considerations in place as well.
Thank you, Ajay. I believe that's what most of the enterprise clients are looking for as well. We have also observed that several enterprises still have legacy infrastructure, right? And
Right.
now want to move away from these traditional kind of setup. Wanted to know, how does TCS help to modernize these traditional and legacy infrastructure along with optimizing their application portfolio and eliminate any technical debt?
That's a very, very interesting question because if you look at any large enterprises or any enterprises for that matter, they all of them have a heterogeneous environment, right? I have not come across a customer where it's pure cloud native environment or
Mm.
latest environments. So every customer has in some part a heterogeneous environment, some legacy workloads. It could be mainframes, it could be mid-range systems like AS400s. You might have the AIX and Solarises of the world, where
So,
moving or migrating them into a public cloud infrastructure might be difficult. So I think that's where, from our perspective, what we look at. When we go in and do a deep dive assessment of the customer, how we help them is providing the hybrid strategy that we have. So we have an enterprise hybrid cloud strategy, which will ensure that the customers can opt the right cloud for the right kind of workloads that they have. Which could be from purely from an infrastructure standpoint, that they want to retain that particular aspect of legacy, or it could also mean that they want to modernize, right? So we look at the application propensity, for example,
mhm.
for modernization, right? Is it suitable for re-architecting? And does the compliance requirement help you to actually re-architect and take you to a cloud native application and hence move to a cloud native solution from a public cloud or a hyperscaler perspective, right? So these are all aspects that we look at from moving away from a customer, moving away from heterogeneous environments, or have a ecosystem where all of these workloads reside together, right? And how we help them is primarily, again, we look at it at three aspects. The first one being infrastructure, for example, right?
Mhm.
That's a pure infrastructure service. We have the infrastructure legacy workloads. Now, if for some reason I'm not able to move it or modernize it or re-architect it, how do I actually ensure that I give the same legacy infrastructure, but with some amount of flexibility in terms of pay as you grow model? right?
Mm.
That's one flexibility that we'll bring into the table through our hybrid cloud ecosystem that we have. The second aspect is in terms of the platforms, right? We have a number of cloud native platform as a service offerings. We work with the customer, do a deep dive technical assessment of the application, and look at options of how do I actually move away, reduce the technical debt by moving away from the legacy workloads, and maybe kind of re-platform that application or re-architect that application into a modern cloud native technology. And to aid that, we do have a number of platform offerings such as container as a service, we have application performance monitoring, we have apification. So these are some of the platform offerings that we have built up in our enterprise hybrid cloud, which seamlessly cuts across your public cloud or the private cloud, for example, and gives a seamless experience to the customer. Now, the third aspect that we typically look at is on the application side. So we cover the infrastructure, we cover the platform, and thirdly is the application side, right? Now, the considerations around the application side are primarily, is that something that I can reduce the technical debt by retiring their application and
Yeah.
moving it into a SaaS-based product, right? If I have a SaaS-based offering from a third party, why can't I move it to a third-party SaaS-based offering? So it's a multitude of these three flavors that we bring onto the table, and that's how we have been able to aid the customers in their heterogeneous workloads. Uh, moving away from their legacy workloads, or having a coexistence for whatever reasons that they need to coexist for, right? But that's interesting, Shashank, because from your vantage point of being an analyst, right? What do you see? What do you see as a trend specifically in the US market? Do you see that the permeance of hybrid cloud, where such heterogeneous systems are available, and every enterprise have that? So, what do you see from your vantage point, Shashank?
So, as we recently finished our private hybrid cloud study for this year, right? There are a lot of things that we got to know, especially from the large enterprise segment, right? And our primary business being the advisory and consulting piece, where we help our large enterprise clients day in, day out with their IT requirements, especially in the cloud space. We have been observing a lot around the kind of modernization that is happening. So the first thing that I would like to inform is there's a lot of infrastructure modernization which has become inevitable, right? Let me put it that way. Enterprise clients we have been helping a lot of clients with a lot of moving away from the legacy workloads that they have from decades, right? Sometimes we have seen clients coming to us asking which provider to choose for helping them modernize their workload. So modernization has become key nowadays. And with this, it's not only, as you rightly said, it's not only the infrastructure piece, it's also the platform, it's also the application that has to be decided whether we need to retire it, whether we need to go on SaaS platform. Absolutely bang on right, where we have seen many big bets that are being taken by these large enterprise clients. Because if they don't do that, that's another castle that we need to look at. If they are not able to move to a modern enterprise client, their competition is doing so. So they fall behind. There's a lot of innovation that is withheld because of these reasons. So that's one thing. The second thing is we are looking at the evolution of a hybrid cloud, right, to a polycloud environment, right? In the initial days, we had been seeing a lot of hesitance to move to a public cloud environment. But now that we are seeing that public cloud environments are also in some cases, they are more secure than on-premise setup. So that has given the confidence, and the public cloud infrastructure providers, the hyperscalers, AWS, Azure, GCP, are have built that credibility in terms of not only providing a secure infrastructure but also offering the flexibility and agility to innovate, to move faster to market, and also the cost aspect, right, moving from a capex to an opex model. So all these put together, we are seeing a lot of traction in a overall hybrid cloud, because no enterprise client will put all their eggs in one basket, which is public cloud, right? So that will never happen for sure. But we are seeing a lot of healthy mix within the on-premise, private cloud, and public cloud environments. And lastly, what we are also seeing that cost optimization that has become a primary, rather I would say, a key aspect while selecting a provider, right? We are seeing enterprise clients coming to us and saying that, we moved to the cloud very quickly, or, we took the lift and shift approach, which is not the correct way, in my opinion, to move to the cloud. We have to look at the application, we have to look at the workload, we have to see what is the right strategy. Only then, whether we need to decide whether it should be a lift and shift or refactor or re-architect the application in some cases. So um, that's so cost optimization within all these strategies takes precedence, and when it comes to managing the workloads on cloud, it has become very important for not only the IT teams but also the finance teams, the procurement teams, the line of business as well, and obviously the higher management is very the from the CXO angle, it's very difficult for them also to provide those budgets or approve those budgets in terms of for the IT spends that we're looking for. And the IT teams always look for new ways to innovate, experiment with new technology. So they are always looking for new, or more budget. So cloud is one of the domains where there's a lot of growth happening, and we are seeing these spends being diverted towards this. So, in my opinion, FinOps is one of the most important aspects where because of these principles, FinOps principles, which is your inform, optimize, and then manage. So this vicious circle of these three principles have been very instrumental in managing or optimizing cloud resources, and therefore the result being the reduced cloud bills.
I think you're absolutely bang on, Shashank, because FinOps is a very, very key aspect. I think it's the most important cog in the wheel, if you
Right.
ask me, to ensure that the public cloud or the hybrid cloud strategy is successful. Because apart from the standard, the cost analytics, the chargeback, the metering, and the
Oh, yeah.
reporting that comes with it, what we also advise the customers is to have an architectural and engineering governance once they move to a hybrid cloud. And the
Yeah.
reason why we do this, we want to baseline the performance of an application every 6 months or maybe every year. And if there's an option or to actually downgrade the system requirements in terms of the CPUs that it consumes, we can probably
Yeah.
scale down and hence bring in more return on investments from the initial business case standpoint. Right? So those are the things that we also suggest, which aid very closely with your FinOps modules that they have, and also bring in that real-time intelligence. If it's not real-time, it's near real-time in a way for the
Yeah.
business and the IT management to take judicious calls in terms of how to reduce and optimize the costs from a hybrid cloud perspective. That's one key area that we have observed as well. Absolutely.
Rightly said, Ajay. I have one last question. If you,
Yeah.
so I would like to take this opportunity to understand some of the good work that you're doing in the cloud space. Can you provide some information on some of the key engagements where you have helped clients migrate and then manage the hybrid cloud environments?
Oh yeah, I think there are a lot of customers that we are providing hybrid cloud solutions to, and I can probably quote a couple of them. I think there's a large chemical and innovation company that we have based out of the US, and we started this journey around 18 months ago, and they had, as typical as any large enterprises, they had a huge estate of 1,000 plus servers across heterogeneous environments of x86. You had a SAP, a large SAP estate. You had AIX, Solaris, the entire mix. The only thing probably we did not have was mainframes, but I think the rest of the mid ranges and the x86 environments was probably there. So the approach that we took was a multi-pronged approach that we took while migrating them onto the hybrid cloud platform. Uh, the x86 part of it was fairly straightforward. We did that, but we did add a transformation layer. We migrated them to our software-defined data center, which are with our proprietary Alpha architecture framework, which ensured them that the hybrid platform came in by default,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to actually move across all of these workloads, migrate them seamlessly in a matter of 3 to 6 months. All of these estates, including the legacy workloads of AIX, Solaris, and also the SAP estate. That was done in record time, and I think there are multiple scenarios wherein we actually worked very closely with the application teams of the customer in actually doing the migration effectively, to ensuring and suggest them what's the best approach, what's the best workload to go to which target cloud, whether it's an on-prem private cloud, or some of them could be applicable to a public cloud scenario, right? That's something that we have done. And there are a couple of instances, interestingly, where we are working with large customers where the headquarters are probably not in the US. For example, there's a large global retailer based out of APAC, and we have migrated them, transformed them, and deployed a hybrid cloud ecosystem across our own enterprise availability zones. Shashank,
Mm-hmm.
as you might know, we have 26 global availability zones from a TCS enterprise hybrid cloud perspective, and we have been able to migrate across to 8 of these availability zones globally, right? Whereas the headquarters of this particular customer is in the APAC region. We have been able to migrate them, and we have been able to seamlessly provide a global service catalog, a global single pane of glass for all of their workloads, whether it's in public cloud or in the on-prem private cloud. And
Mm-hmm.
within the private cloud ecosystem, it could be any one of those 8 availability zones that we have deployed in currently, right?
Yeah.
So it's a single pane of glass, truly, in the right sense of the word. So there's a couple of instances that I can think of where we have actually successfully migrated, transformed as part of the migration as well, and taken to the next level of cloud maturity, if I can say so.
Thank you so much, Ajay. And I would just like to thank you again for taking the time for doing this. And it was wonderful to talk to you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shishak. I think it's been a good discussion, very insightful from our end as well. So thanks for your time. Looking forward to connecting with you sooner.
Yes. Yep. Thank you.